I'm on my laptop. Let's get the yeah, let's get this going. Once I finish the so coming at you straight out of Brooklyn, Frankie Russo. What's going on over here? I'm over in Brooklyn. Never forget, you better believe it. What's going on? Unfortunately, I was waiting, man. I was all stoked. I was waiting for the launch today with this NASA and SpaceX. You know, I was waiting for that. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So it appears steadily. I'm bummed out about it. That's what they're saying. I am too. And they're saying Saturday at 3:22 could be the next one, the next shot. So let's hope that pops, right? By the way, I got an app. What up, 85? Did you join my app? Thank you, Shark Radio Network, for the retweets. We got some vectors tonight. I didn't finish the. Don't be mad at me. I didn't finish the Margarita Island vector, man. No. Yeah, I got things popping during the day. I'm trying to get back on the radio, quite honestly. But I'm thinking, what I'm thinking, what I'm thinking is, what I'm thinking is, we'll get to the Margarita Island right off the coast of Venezuela, next to Trinidad, right next to Caracas. We'll do that one either tomorrow night or Sunday night, and we're going to bring it all together. The major cover up with the Wuhan virus, with China, Iran, and Russia, resulted in taking this virus, this Wuhan virus, and turning it into a human bioweapon. A human bioweapon. And we think the vectors are statistically significant, right? So I got a disclaimer. I'm going to put it on my app. By the way, I got an app. You go to Frankie Russo on the Apple Store, put my name in, you see America's Team. We're going to start to really promote this app. I'm trying to get back on the radio, and it'll all come together. In addition, I'm in the Google Play, the Android. Put Frankie Russo there, you got the app. Now here's the disclaimer. Outside looking in, no U.S. Congressional Oversight Committee, no International Atomic Energy Agency, no Joint Chiefs of Staff, no National Security Council, no access to classified docs, nor do I know anyone who has access to classified docs. Court papers, judges' decisions, peer-reviewed journal articles, and well-sourced, well-researched open source articles in the public domain. No access to classified docs. Right? So, based on court papers, judges' decisions, peer-reviewed journal articles, and well-sourced, well-researched open source articles. What we're searching for, it's a quasi model. I'm in the process of developing some. What up, Mel? You know, I do drill down on this a lot. So basically, it's a quasi model, quote unquote, statistical significance, in all likelihood, no probability. We look for trends, differences, and patterns in the data, and then we attempt to conceivably reach reasonable, responsible conclusions. And by the way, we believe all conclusions are close. Classified information is the mean. We're within the standard deviation of the mean. The Russo disclaimer. So basically, we come from the frequentistic domain in statistics, right? You can repeat an experiment over and over again, and if you get the same, pretty much in the realm of within the standard deviation of the mean, the results, where all the data usually falls, you're doing good, right? So, not to get too statistically significant, you know, we're going to talk about a few things, right? I saw that video on that kid. Well, it was not a kid. He's 46-year-old. I think a 46-year-old man, African-American man. You know, I'm pro law enforcement, but that don't look good, son. In all honesty, there's no more dude. What up, Bensonhurst? I'm telling you, Greenwood, there's nobody more pro law enforcement than Frankie Russo. You know, I am NYPD Joint Terrorism Task Force. I mean, I have much respect for the men and women of the United States. It was right, the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. You know, the whole thing, right? Even the federales. I think, you know, there's not everybody, not all the federales are rats. You know, not all of the CIA are rats. You know, there's rogue wings. I respect the police, right? I have the world of respect for absolutely true sin, absolutely true snow. 1 hour. I'm down with that, son. No, I'm not taking calls. I don't know who you are. I don't have a call screener. With the grace of God, I get back on the radio. You know, I got a call screener. You know what I mean? I tried that before, and it really got ridiculous. It was a way. It was just, you know. It was an execution, Greenwood. It was. I agree with you. I mean, the way it looks. I mean, the data's flowing out. Sean Hannity. I was watching Sean Hannity. I always watch Shawnee before I go on the air. You know, he's the top TV guy as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was disturbing. You know. The knee to the head, to the ground. I mean, come on, man. And what really, honestly, like, I mean, we don't know all the facts yet, right? So basically, the preliminary information, right? Forgery, you know? And I'm the first to wait. There's nobody more single. I'm telling you, Greenwood, right? And I'm there's nobody more cynical than me. The way things are reporting, you know? Like, I think about Jesse Smollett, right? Jesse Smollett? I'm not going to pronounce his name right. But that dude from Empire, Jesse Smollett, right? That was horrific, what he did, right? The setup and all those other setups. Hands up, don't shoot, and a guy gets you. That didn't happen, right? But this one, I got to say, you know, this one, Golden, I got to say, don't look good. Okay? But be as it may, I just question the timing of everything. I wonder how long they was sitting on this video, and it's like this is not good, Betty, right? So we'll take a wait and see. Let's see what comes out. It doesn't look good. The optics are not good, you know. And I'm the first to, drill down. Hey, Pay, how you doing? I'm the first to drill down and say, what's going on, you know. So we're gonna take a wait and see on that one, but the optics don't look good. Thank you, Pay. Thank you for the retweets. That's what I'm worried about, Betty. Great point. I'm ready about that. I'm really worried about that. Well, he's going to let the law enforcement do what they do, and he's the president, right, Greenwood? But he'll take an honest position like he always does, It's not like we don't have Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch as attorney generals telling people to riot, We don't have that now. Right. That's terrible. Peaceful protest? People are entitled to it. What up, Pay? We have a overzealous police officer in Minneapolis did a bad thing to one of the. They arrested somebody for forgery, which I'm like, when I heard forgery, I was like, according to Sean Hannity, he said forgery. I was like, really, really? Come on, man. Well, don't look good. The optics don't look good. Okay? So that's one thing. And then we had the launch today. I was really disappointed about the launch. Oh my goodness. I was really anticipating. I love this stuff, I like rockets. I'm going to be doing something in that on a small scale. I want to learn about that stuff. I'm going to talk about it soon. I'm working on something. Me too, Bensonhurst. I was, we're still on lockdown over here in New York. So, yeah, Saturday 3:00 is supposed to be the next one. Saturday at 3 is supposed to be the next one, Bensonhurst. So we'll see how that pops. Hopefully, those people, those men and women, those astronauts are amazing. Absolutely. And then I heard, well, I don't know about Musk is a tremendous, maybe, I guess. He's something else. Absolutely, Greenwood. I agree. Einstein? I don't know, but he's up there. Einstein, Boltzmann. I mean, these guys are, these scientists. He's up there, no doubt. I'm not taking anything away from the guy. I tip my cap to him. Musk is the bomb. But today I was listening to Nancy Pelosi, right? Oh my God. So she steps to the mic. I only can watch a few minutes of it. I couldn't take it after a while. It's just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hate to be so cynical. I just got to be honest. These Democrats are really bad. Absolutely, Greenwood. Absolutely. These Democrats are really bad. That Joe Biden is a bad guy. Very bad. People understand. President Trump, Betty, President Trump, he earned his billions before he got into the White House. He didn't go in worth 100,000 and then made 20 million in 3 years in the Senate. Very bad, Justin. Very bad. I agree. So we kind of predicted that this is the way this is going to go, right? We kind of figured that it's going to go. Absolutely, Pay. We kind of figured this is the way this was going to go in the streets, right? Because now the Democrats are basically fighting for their life. Trump, no matter what they do to this guy, he's still standing, right? No matter what they tell him, his people tell him, he honestly, his social media is on steroids, literally. That's how good it is. And the people that run that, from Pasquale and the other cats he's got down there, They are top notch, right? He's got a ground game he didn't have in 16. He's got the rallies. I mean, he did rallies before we had this virus, and he was gathering and putting together a data machine on who shows up. He was getting 20. The last time I looked at the numbers that was on Pasquale's Twitter feed, 20% Democrats were attending his rally. 20% Democrats were attending his rallies. I mean, this is what I mean when I listen to mainstream. There's something not right in this in this open source. There's something not right to come to me and tell me that Biden is winning on the poll. I mean, that tells me that's like, you know, Biden is not more popular than Hillary Clinton. Let's look at the facts, right? I saw the numbers were in the 20s, baby, which I think is it's good to be conservative, right? It's good to be conservative with the numbers, because the numbers are an indication, you look for trends. The numbers, like you listen to the people in the open source, in the mainstream media, they go, like today, I was talking to a friend of mine. You know, his politics is all over the place. You know, I'm talking to this dude. Right? Smart guy. Big time, I mean, smart dude. Smart on the business side. Big time lefty. When I tell you, like from Long Island, like I'm like, this is crazy, right? Crazy. I'm like, this is crazy. He'd vote for Bernie Sanders if he was here. He voted for Hillary Clinton. And I'm like, okay, it's America. You're entitled to feel, you know, that's how I feel. I have lefty friends. But his thought processes, I mean, he hates Trump so much that he'd vote for Biden. He'd vote for Hillary Clinton, right? You can't tell me that if you listen to these lefties, that Biden is more popular than Hillary Clinton within the Democratic Party. No way. And that Biden's going to get more black vote than Obama. Are you kidding me, son? Like, come to me straight up. Like, for real. Like, seriously. Joe Biden's going to get more black vote than Obama. Seriously. Than the first black president. Straight up. It's crazy, right, Pay? It's insane. That's what they're saying. That's what they say. This is what I mean. There's something, they think we're stupid. You're right, Justin. But there's people that eat this stuff up, obviously, right? It's crazy. When you look at the numbers, don't forget, attending a rally, this is what people don't understand. When President Trump calls for a rally and he gets 20, 30,000, 10,000, 15,000 outside, right? It's like he's doing a dry run for November 3rd, 2020. All he's got to do is tell them, let's go vote. They would follow him. People don't understand. They would follow him to the polls and go vote. Do people understand? Trump starts off this election with 45 to 50%. Right off the top. You're talking like a pigeonhole. If he has somebody, he pigeonholes this thing. He takes it and pops without even opening up the door, without even saying the election is on, right? Trump opens up with 45, 50 like this. Like 45, 47, like this. Without even talking independence. 45, 47 like that. That's what I'm saying. It is so sick. People just don't want to say Trump he's got the goods. This guy is one of the most prolific politicians we've had since Ronald Reagan. Just give him the credit and let him govern, man. But it's more than that. And he's probably got a lot more black vote than people want to admit. So, but I think, like we say, the Hispanic vote is Trump's firewall. This Hispanic vote, because he's going to win Florida. All he's got to do is win Florida. Trump's in play everywhere. Everywhere. with Joe Biden on that ticket. Biden even said it today. He's doing good. They say Biden is hiding. We're doing good because he likes it. No pressure. They love him. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we're saying. The Hispanic vote. The Hispanic vote is going to, that's Trump's firewall. And Florida. All he needs, this as long as he gets Florida, all that stuff, I'm telling you, Ohio, then it's all fair game. Biden, you know, the enthusiasm is low. And what's going to give him the enthusiasm? A VP candidate? It don't work that way. This is one thing in presidential politics. Everything, you know, since social media, like television did with the Kennedy, John Kennedy, Richard Nixon election, television changed the dynamics, right? Trump took social media and did that with the election, right? Trump's social media is sick, right? Think about it. He goes to rallies, so he's doing this, right? He's going to rallies before the virus, going to rallies, right? Boom, 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 20,000, 30,000, and he's getting data. 20% Democrats, 25%. Are you kidding me? Like really? These people that go to the rallies are like, I'm voting for Trump. That's how they know what they. In other words, they know there's no this. This is what people don't want to see. As much as they're going to try to downplay his numbers, downplay his support in the open domain, right? The public domain, like they did in 2016, right? They don't understand. Trump starts off the election without even opening up the ballot boxes with 45%. Strong. So all he's got to get is some of the independents, right? Now, obviously, this is not a popular vote gig, right? This is a state-by-state thing, right? State by state. This is electoral votes. I'm telling you, Trump is a political machine. And his campaign is going to be the model for future elections. And Greenwood, they could say what they want about him. He tweets, you know, he's combative. He has to be, right? But they could say what they want. You know, he's not that's why he got elected. He's not the smooth talking politician. That's why he got elected. People want to hear the Trump candor. That's why I have no respect for the mainstream media, because there's no president in the history, and I'm going back, I don't know, you know, Lincoln probably, right? That had the candor of Donald John Trump. The impromptu press conferences, and when he's at the podium, he tells you how he feels. And what happens is they don't even give him what bothers me with the mainstream media, they don't even cut him a break. You know, he's the president of the United States. They don't give him the benefit of the doubt. They jump because they want to play gotcha with Trump, right? Because they're afraid of him. Because he's not like everybody else. They're afraid, right? They're going to lose their job. They're going to lose their, right? They're going to lose this whole narrative because Trump's about to wipe out the lefty narrative. AOC got whacked in 18. AOC got whacked in 18, right? AOC didn't deliver on nothing. That's socialism. Bernie's a moron. Bernie's Castro, he was praising Castro. Castro's a murderer. I love Castro, he said. Castro's a murderer. By the way, is Justin Trudeau Castro's son? I still got to jump down on that. I would love to find out in any sort of way we could say that there's something to it. You know? There's so much deception out there. Everything's open game as far as I'm concerned. Obama's born in Hawaii. I don't believe it. Michelle Michael, I believe that. I don't believe that I'm sorry, you know. Everything is open game. Maduro is from Bogota, Colombia, not Venezuela. I mean, you know, Mohammed Morsi was born in America. Muhammad Javad Zarif was born in America. I mean, I'm open to anything right now with this whole thing. There's so much lying and deceiving and deception. Everything's open game, right? And you got Chris Wallace sitting down with Juan Williams and Donna Brazil. Rats. DNC rats. Talking points memos for the DNC. Playing mental gymnastics on the news cycle. I mean, and he doesn't even push back. So, you know, here's one of the top, supposed to be one of the top, absolutely, Betty, supposed to be one of the top journalists on cable TV, Chris Wallace. Look at the lineage. Forget Paul Ryan. I tell you, Greenwood's, Mike Wallace was a tremendous, like Walter Cronkite. He was the Walter Cronkite, right? Walter Cronkite, right? He said, these guys are like, you know, these are American legends of journalism. Legends. Tim Russett, another guy. Oh my God. Tim Russett. Talking about a journalist? Tim Russett. That dude was no joke. Now look at that show now. It's a joke. Jake Tape, whatever his name, Jake Tapia, whatever the hell his name is. These people are a joke. Cuomo and the governor over here goes to New York. Okay, so we started with Pelosi, right? And we're gonna continue to talk about Pelosi. So what bothered me about Pelosi, absolutely, Betty, very bad. Russett was unbelievable, right? Greenwood, right? Now Fox News, if we didn't have Fox News, let's be honest and real. When I have beef with news, Fox News, I say it. But overall, it's a great place, right? I don't know about she's mafia. I don't know about that, Betty, but I'll just say this much. Right? Fox News is a great place. There's some broadcasters in there and some contributors that got issues, right? They got issues. But overall, it's a Sean Hannity's and Laura Ingraham. She does a, you know, she really puts the work in, right? And you got Tucker Carlson, he's another guy. Tucker puts the work in, right? He tries to be fair, at least, right? I think Martha McCallum overall tries. They try, but you have to understand when you got fake newsmakers giving you they're going to give you fake information. It's like, absolutely, Betty, Tucker's a smart guy, right? And his debating. I like it when he debates. He hasn't debated as much. So when he debates, his show is very interesting. Sean Hannity's reporting is an animal. Come on, man. Hannity's an animal. Hannity drills down. Hannity gives you stuff you don't even know. Hannity is top notch. But what's really crazy, right? I was thinking about something. Yeah, so it's like, what bothers me with mainstream media, right? I'll give you an example. The Obama-Clinton crime family, right? I talk about this all the time because it drives me crazy because of the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. They come in, they make an oath to this, a pledge to this country, they serve this country, and they go out to the North African, Middle Eastern region. They send them into the lion's den. Afghanistan. At one time, Afghanistan, the den of Al-Qaeda, right? Now it's Libya, right? Crazy stuff going on in Afghanistan, but Libya is like on fire with Al-Qaeda, right? They'll send them out there. And the Obama-Clinton crime family in Afghanistan tied their hands, right? Tied their hands, the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. During the Obama-Clinton crime family, the killings in Afghanistan of our men and women of the United States Armed Forces were record numbers. Killings like this. They tied their hands. When could we shoot them? When can't we shoot them? You know, could we shoot first? It is just sick, right? And then Trump came, he just unleashed it, right? He unleashed the military. Not only did he get them the artillery that they needed, but he just unleashed it, right? But it's crazy, man. You sit there, you think, these kids are going out, they come back, their limbs are gone, their heads are, and you find out the Obama-Clinton crime family was a joke. 10 years removed from September 11th, the horrific hit in the World Trade Center, they're sending 20,000 Soviet manpads. Soviet. In other words, when they couped Gaddafi and they gave it to the Islamists, Mustafa Jalal and Abdel Hakim Belhaj just took over those weapons. They knew they were there. Come on. They knew he was hoarding 20,000 Soviet manpads. The CIA. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is Frankie Russo. Come on. Then the Obama Clinton crime family sends 400 FIM-92s. And they didn't shoot down. And then we find out they didn't send the air support. They had them on stand down because they were afraid if they sent the air support to save the Americans that the Islamists were going to take the weapons that we gave them to shoot the air support out of the sky. Those manpads you could take out of Chinook, and they've done it already. They've done it already. So you'll have people like Donna Brazil and Juan Williams from the bomber side of this thing sitting down critiquing President Trump's actions on the whacking of General Soleimani. And Chris Wallace will sit there and no pushback. That's what I'm saying. That's why I got beef with mainstream media. That's why I got beef with mainstream media. That's why it's fake news. That's why it's fake news. That's why we got fake news. Another, right, today. Nancy Pelosi stands at the podium and she goes, Nancy Pelosi, right? The bride of Frankenstein, right? She's a legislator, but now she's an executive. Last time I checked, she's the Speaker of the House. You're just a legislator. You're just a legislator, honey. You're not an executive. You're not an administrator. All you do is make law. You're not an executive. You don't administer the law. She goes, Nancy Pelosi. Right? Bensonhurst. And she says 100,000 people from the virus. Horrific. 100,000 people. She doesn't say, what about the nursing homes? We were talking about it last night. Cuomo said it's 20%. That chick, Betsy, I don't want to mispronounce her last name. Betsy, last name begins with an M. She's the former lieutenant governor of the Pataki administration, right? Betsy Mahogany. She's a healthcare expert. She claims that the deaths in the nursing home in New York are closer to 10%, 10,000. Mahogany, right, Betty? Mahogany? 10,000, she says. So let's say she's right. She's tough. She's a tough chick, right? Let's say she's right. 10,000. The last time I checked the numbers from New York, that probably puts the deaths, unfortunately, that probably makes up 30 to 40% of the deaths in New York. Probably, even, I don't know, maybe even more. I don't know. But the last time I checked, if I remember the number, it's close to like 30%, maybe 40% of the deaths in New York. New Jersey's 40%. This was on Sean Hannity's show yesterday. Pennsylvania is 50%, right? Michigan's not even reporting. The lady that came in, was it you, Betty? You're from Arizona? Well, I don't know. New York is bad with the politicians, Betty. Very bad. A lot of corruption over here. So, Betty, let me ask you. You're from Arizona? Were you the one that said 74%? You told me 74%, right? 74% of the deaths from COVID in Arizona are from nursing homes, right? Didn't you tell me that? So here's the question. If the percentage of the deaths, right, Betty, with the COVID are that high in the nursing home, why are we on lockdown? Right? Why are we on lockdown? Because the Democratic governors, I hear you, Betty, the Democratic governors didn't manage these COVID patients. They were sending them. We know of New York, New Jersey, I think Connecticut, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Tom Wolfe, another rat, right? Sending these COVID patients to the most vulnerable of the population, the elderly in the nursing homes. Cuomo went so far to say, pretty much, I'm summarizing it, I'm paraphrasing it. He said, they're going to die anyway. Something to that effect. It's crazy. You believe that? And everybody says he's done a great job. They said he did a great job. Everybody in New York, Cuomo did a great job. I think he's a rat. He's a Fredo, like his brother. You know what's crazy too, which I forgot to mention. So this is another fake news. Why don't they talk about if you take out the deaths, the horrific deaths in the nursing homes? So they could have been prevented more by and large if we didn't send the COVID patients to the nursing homes. We could have definitely reduced the deaths significantly if the Democratic governors didn't send the COVID patients to the nursing homes. So Nancy Pelosi will never say that. She'll say 100,000 deaths, which are horrific, and she'll blame it on Trump. Trump was in the Wuhan lab and created the virus. We say this all the time, but it's true. Nancy Pelosi is implying that President Trump basically created this virus, and he stalled on the reporting of it because he wanted to destroy the very economy that he took time. It took 4 years to create. Because you know why? Because he wants to see if he could do it again. That's the stupidity of Nancy Pelosi, and it tells you how stupid she is, right? She thinks she's an executive, and she's only a legislator. That's all she is, and she's doing really what she's doing once again. And then here's another thing, right? Nancy Pelosi said, remember during the Obama thing, the Obamacare? Affordable health care is unaffordable. She said, don't read it. The most un-American thing I've ever heard. The individual mandate to me was the most un-American thing I've ever seen. And the most un-American thing I've ever heard in my lifetime from a congressman and or woman from the United States Congress was she said, don't read it. Vote on it and we'll figure it out later. Wow. And they controlled, I mean, this was during I think Obama controlled at the beginning, the first 2 years, the Congress, if I'm not mistaken, he controlled the Congress, obviously, and he had the White House, the Democrats. And it shows you, I'm pretty certain, it was the first 2 years, and Nancy, so this is what I mean about fake news. This is fake. She's fake news. She's fake. She's fake. Right? And then they had the Ukraine, Trump's on the phone, impeach him, right? The Russian, Hillary Clinton lost. Who do you blame? Russia. Trump's a Russian agent. You blame Trump. Trump colluded with Russia to beat Hillary. That's why Hillary lost. Not Hillary. Hillary just got outworked, out-strategized by the Trump campaign. He just ran a great campaign. Don't want to give him credit for that. Now they're going to be in for a real awakening. How good the Trump campaign is going to be. Because Trump is firing at all cylinders. All of them. All he's got to do is press the buttons. There you go, Happy. And ain't that the truth, right? And we've talked about this, we've surmised and it goes all the way back to the Bill Clinton administration, right? You know what I was thinking about too when I was watching? I just thought of it. Trump comes in. President Trump is a great president for American exceptionalism, right? The last president I thought about that was into that, like that, Ronald Reagan, absolutely. John Kennedy, right? If we had Democrats, if we had Kennedy Democrats and Reagan Democrats, our country would be firing on all cylinders. It wouldn't matter. There'd be a lot more fairness. But today, we are the Kennedy Democrats. We are the Reagan Democrats. We are the conservatives, right? The Democrats are the socialists. The Democrats are communists. The leaders of this Democratic Party is, I don't know who these people are. To me, I say it all the time. People think I'm nuts. Stealth jihad radicalismists, CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, runs that party. I'm telling you, it's going to come out. So NASA under Trump, right, Stringer? NASA under Trump is trying to build up American exception. He loves this stuff. He said Saturday, I think he's staying around Saturday to see if this thing gets launched on Saturday, I think. I think Trump's going to be around to see this. It's in Florida, you know. That's right, it's in Florida. Trump lives in Florida now, our great president, right? So it's interesting, right? NASA. What was NASA under Obama? You know what Obama did with NASA? Twitter is in big trouble. I agree with you. Trump is Twitter, right? Trump is Twitter, right? What has he got, 80 million? Trump is Twitter. And only God knows the impressions. Only God knows the impressions, right? Only God knows. At one point in time, when I was at ABC, my impressions were between 500,000 to 2.7 million, right? Only God knows what Trump's impressions were. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Trump is Twitter. They censored him, and they're not going to censor Biden. Trump is Twitter. So what did Obama do with NASA? Listen to this. This guy, Charles Bolden, right? Charles Bolden. So this is according to Reuters, right? Reuters. You know, no friends of Trump, that's for sure. No friends of the Trumpers. According to Reuters, I want to get it straight before I say what they said. Reuters, Charles Bolden, NASA. Let's see. Well, I'm almost done. Bear with me. Wait, I don't know if I turned on Facebook Live. Oh man, I don't think I did. There it is. Now we're connected. I forgot. I always forget sometimes. So let's see. So during the Obama administration, this is Fox News, okay? Written by Judson Berger, Fox News. The Obama administration, former head of NASA. former head of NASA, claims deeply Charles Bolden is deeply flawed. That's the current administrator of NASA at the time under the Obama administration. He said that Charles Bolden was deeply flawed with the idea that Space Explorations Agency, NASA, its top priority should be outreach to Muslim countries. So he was claiming NASA represents the best of America, according to Michael Griffin, who served as a NASA administrator during the latter half of the Bush administration. NASA represents the best of America. Its purpose is not to inspire Muslims or any other cultural entity. Now understand something. Under the Obama administration, not even going out to the North African, Middle Eastern region, Obama had 73 employees on the TSA. If I'm not mistaken, it's TSA. Let me make sure I got that right. 73 on terror watch list. Wait. 73 TSA employees on terror watch lists. This stuff is crazy. You could say Russo's Islamophobic, whatever you want to say. Here, TSA, and this is TSA missed at least 73 individuals employed in the airline industry. Airline industry. This is after the airlines going into the Twin Towers, right? At least 73 individuals employed in the airline industry should have been disqualified and flagged under terrorism-related activity codes by the TSA. A newly released report by the DHS Inspector General. And this was so bad, I remember reading this when I was at ABC, that the Democratic congressman from Massachusetts, Lynch, was furious. How could this happen? How could we have 73 employees on the TSA? Just for the record, just so you understand, the TSA is the Transportation Security Administration and is an agency of the Department of Homeland Security. And it has the authority over the security of the traveling public in the United States. It was created as a response. Its budget is $7.8 billion, and it's created as a response to September 11th. But Betty, it's beyond Muslim sympathizer. This is not a Muslim sympathizer. It's more than that, I think, my opinion. So the TSA is an agency of U.S. Department Homeland Security that has authority over security of traveling public. So how did they get through? This is the problem. How did Omar Abdul-Rahman get in here? He married an American Muslim convert, probably Hillary Rodham Clinton, right? For all I know, right? He got in here. He was in Sudan, right? And he plotted blind. Claimed that a religious life, was the Muslim cleric for the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. Right? We have the facility, we have the infrastructure, we have the technology to do the vetting, but it's the people that run the technology is where the problems are, right? But think about that. 73 individuals employed in the airline industry. NASA. Bolden created a firestorm after telling Al Jazeera that Obama told him before he took the job that he wanted him to do three things: inspire children to learn math and science, expand international relations, and perhaps foremost, he wanted Charles Bolden to find a way to reach out to the Muslim world and engage much more with dominantly Muslim nations to help them feel good about their historic contribution to science, math, and engineering. This is beyond belief. Who is this? Who is this? Who was in the White House for 8 years? I don't believe Hawaii. Who is this guy? Who is Barack Hussein Obama? He owes this country an explanation on who he is. He owes this country an explanation. Who the hell was Barack Hussein Obama, Barry Soetoro, Barry Sabakwa, Michael Michelle? Those kids aren't theirs. Hillary Rodham Clinton, who the hell is she? I don't know who she is. Because hers is the complete opposite. We have a lot of information on her, but that's a front, as Obama is a front. Think about this. Then we had 58 Muslim leaders going to Bob Mueller, the great spy master. He released Anwar al-Awlaki, the 9/11 hijacker. The 9/11 Imam, I meant. He was the 9/11 Imam, Anwar al-Awlaki. I was thinking about Muhammad Atta. Then, right? Then they went to John Brennan. According to the New York Post, the New York Post, he scrubbed FBI documentations, FBI presentations, and those 58 Muslim leaders also. So they were Muslim Brotherhood. I'm not saying every one of them were, but I know four groups: CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, the Muslim American Society, the North American Islamic Circle, and there was another, the North American Islamic Association. Right? According to now, this is why things are fake. Right? Now I'm going to more fakeness. I'm going from one thing to another thing. The Holy Land Foundation trial. The definitive landmark case that unequivocally, this is, everybody talks about the FBI. There's a rogue wing in the FBI. The Comey Morrell wing of the FBI. Islam is not terrorism. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Allah! They're blowing buildings up. What are you talking about, son? According to Al-Azhar University, the Muslim clerics asked Omar Abdul Rahman Youssef al-Qawadari from Al-Azhar University in Egypt. There's some clerics believe ISIS is Islamic. What do you think about that? So listen. So we got, right? There you go, Montana. There it is, right? Yeah. But that's what they want to sell us. And, you're Islamophobic, you're this, you're that. So I was about to, my thoughts, I was starting to hone in on this thing. So we're talking, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh my goodness. I was really honing in. So, right. So we had the 58, right. So John Brennan, right. I was honing in on Philip Haney. And he got whacked recently. They said that he died, he committed suicide. He had a bullet in his head. Yeah. He shot himself. Right, sure. He was the whistleblower on the scrubbing of the DHS server that, according to Philip Haney, would have saved us from San Bernardino, Orlando pub shooting, Chattanooga shooting with Abdulaziz, Tashfeen Malik, Saeed Farouk, and Omar Mateen, the Boston Marathon bombers. I mean, no, he's saying Hitler wasn't Islam. No, the Islamists loved Hitler. Truth be told, Islamists loved Hitler. They admire Hitler. Yeah. Unbelievable. You just can't make this stuff up. Oh my God, here we go. Now here we go. So we got now inside the United States Islamists. So sitting not only They were sitting at the table with the prior administration, but with the Obama administration, they were issuing execution orders. They issued execution orders in D.C., Muhammad al-Abari, a senior fellow for the DHS, Muslim Brotherhood operative, out in the open, very clear. He was one of the 53 Muslim leaders that were issuing execution orders to the head of the FBI at the time, Robert Mueller. He released Anwar al-Awlaki, right? He had him in his custody, released him. He had to go before the Oversight Committee on that one. And then in 11, he went to an Oversight Committee saying that Muslim Brotherhood is an FTO, foreign terrorist organization. Then he met with Muslim Brotherhood leaders in 2012, and scrubbed FBI documents and FBI presentations. Why? Because they told him to do it. Muhammad al-Abari from the White House, from Obama, right? Then they scrubbed the DHS servers, and now he goes to Charles Bolden, this Obama, and tells him to use NASA to outreach to the Muslims throughout the world. Who was in the White House? Right? This was a bought seat by the royal families in the Saudi kingdom and Qatar. They bought that White House. Who they buy it from? The deep state. The CIA and the FBI. Truth be told, that seat was bought. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what they did over here. So basically, the Obama Clinton crime family, all the way from the 90s, where they gave away a Corazon. Where you from, Corazon? You from Kenya or Indonesia? Or maybe you got Indonesia. I wish I had a Biggie Small song. Indonesia. Oh my goodness. Truth be told, because Robert, the reason why this is real, right, Porky? The reason why this is real with this Charles Bolden trying to use NASA as a Muslim outreach organization, used to be space exploration, right? Robert Gibbs, at the time the press secretary, attacked him for that. So it was real. It was said. Fox News reported it. It was said. I meant it like all of Fox News' commentary recently, because Bill O'Reilly's not there. He was arguably he was the best, to me, he was the best broadcaster. You can say what you want, he liked the ladies. You can say what you want, right? But he was the best TV broadcaster on the planet when he was on. The best. You know why he was good? That's what I'm talking about, Porky. You know why he was good? You went to the TV when he was on at 8 o'clock to hear his talking points. I didn't go there to see one of his guests. I came there to hear his talking points. And Sean's starting to get that. Sean is different. Sean is just an absolute savage. Period. Sean Hannity's just an absolute savage. As is Tucker, and I think Laura Ingraham is too. She believes in what she's doing. Sometimes I think sometimes I think she's great, but when she attacks, it's like when Chris Wallace attacked, and I'm not a Dershowitz fan, but when Chris Wallace tried to go toe to toe on the legal stuff with Dershowitz, the ACLU lawyer, I mean, he's a legal scholar, and I watched, absolutely, Porky, and I watched, and Chris Wallace was trying to go toe to toe on a legal debate with Alan Dershowitz. I'm not an ACLU cat, but Dershowitz is a legal scholar, and he's a Harvard trained legal scholar that writes for law journals, academic legal opinions, researched. And Chris Wallace is trying to debate. I forgot the issue. I was turned off by it. I was turned off by it. And then when Laura Ingraham says about Fauci, now I'm not a Fauci guy, right? I respect his scholarship, his career in the NIH, but I don't know much about him. And I think, people look at him and they, he's a scientist, so he's going to give you a scientist's opinion. Who makes the opinion here is Trump, and Trump's doing it. Trump said, "I don't agree with Fauci on the not opening up the schools." Trump makes the final decisions. That's why he's the president of the United States. It's above Fauci's pay grade. But when it comes to talking about vaccines and placebos and experimental data, how are you challenging this guy? Now you want to take a scientist in there and say maybe he's doing differently, or go to a medical doctor scientist that's treating COVID patients with hydroxychloroquine. I got no problem, because we don't have a vaccine for SARS, and SARS was in 2003. How are we gonna have a vaccine for COVID? It's right now, right? That's what bothers me too with these broadcasters. Now, they're on Fox News. God bless them. They got a great gig. I tip my cap to them. But, Fox News is a great place. But some of these cats, they don't drill down. And they just, come on, man. And, I respect Laura Ingraham. I think she's a great journalist. I think she's a tough chick. I really respect her. But, you're going after a guy like Fauci on the medical stuff? Calling him out like that? He's a scientist. He's going to talk like a scientist, He's a scientist. Trump makes the final decision, and he has. Trump is the president of the United States. Fauci is just data for Trump's decision. Like Dr. Barex, like Dr. Redfield, like Dr. Guerrero, the test guru. Then he's got Pence, and he's got others on his coronavirus task force. He factors it all in, and he makes a decision. The problem is now the other side to this thing, people say, you got to follow the science. Like I was talking about my friend. He said to me, I follow the science. I'm like, science? Science? What science? Well, the science. The scientists, what they say. They don't know. So what do you mean? When they say blunt the curve, what kind of curve do you think that is? They have a vaccine? They don't have a vaccine for SARS. They have a vaccine? Do they have a vaccine? No. And a vaccine doesn't even, you know what I mean? Because what's the science? The science is a probability distribution curve. Blunt the curve. Listen, it's not fake science. It's not fake science. No, I don't agree with that, Doug. What's fake science is what these broadcasters say. When they say, hello from Russia. When they say, that's funny. When they say, they say Trump's not following science, and Biden's going, Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, she go, you follow science. The Bride of Frankenstein. You follow science. What science, Pelosi? What science, Biden? Where's the science? They're just managing the data, the curve. They don't know where the hell this thing came from. Well, we do, but you know what I mean. China, right? They've been down this rodeo before. SARS. It goes back to all the way 04, 03, 04. Came from China. No vaccine. Right? So, what are you talking about? Trump did the right thing, right? He listened to the information. He said, let's exercise caution. Let's see. Let's get more information, and then we're going to open up. But now what we got is because of the what up there, heavy. Because of these Democratic governors, I mean, they're just taking their time because it's very political for them. But where they really made the mistake over here is where they handled the COVID patients with the nursing homes, and they're blaming Trump for that problem too, right? Whenever there's a problem, blame Trump. We elected our great president, Donald John Trump, to fix the problems of the past administrations. And that's what he did. Cuomo's exposed. Trump is far ahead of Cuomo. And Cuomo's been doing this his whole life. Trump's been doing this for 4 years, and he's by far a better politician. Not even close, right? Not even close. Trump's ahead all the way around. Cuomo comes out, acts like he's got a MD, Fredo, right? Exactly, Porky. Acts like he's got an MD from Weill Cornell. It's crazy, heavy, right? Crazy. Weill Cornell Medical School. The curve. He doesn't even know what the curve is. That's a probability distribution. In all likelihood or probability, where you are on the curve is the probability of you of getting infected with the virus. Where are you? What's the, where are you in the curve? That's why they want to blunt the curve, flatten the curve, right? According to Barex, it was 1 in 3 get infected by the virus. 1 in 7 get infected. 1 in 7, sorry. She said 1 in 7. The guy, Victor Hansen, he's supposed to be knows what he's talking about to a greater extent, right? Right? 3 in 3, he says not 3 in 100, 3 in 1,000, he said. 3 in 1,000 is 0.003. That's 3 kilograms. That's more likely to happen. But it's in the realm of Elizabeth Warren is Pocahontas. That's how, that's where that is, of you getting infected with the virus, according to Victor Hansen. According to Dr. Barex, it's 1 in 7. The last time I heard her say, I throw numbers around. So you got this curve that, depending upon, it's basically a normal distribution, right? You got the mean, where all the data sits, and where are you? Are you with the data, or so in all likelihood, probably where you are in this curve it's a percentage. And if you're in the middle, that's not good, right? So it's just beyond belief, right? Because they're basically trying to so the curve, the probability predictive model gives them more information on how to understand how this virus is moving, because they don't know we have an idea where it came from, but a cure and learning more about it is what this whole shutdown was, right? Corazon, you're 100% wrong. Well, China, we believe, based on the vectors, that China, Iran, and Russia turned the Wuhan virus into a human bioweapon. And we have the vectors now. I'm not saying it's incontrovertible truth, but we're creeping towards statistical significance that the vectors and the flow of this virus and the way it was spread, and we have, there are some players in the domain like Secretary of State Pompeo, General Keane, BBC, German intel, and China's actions gives us enough data to say, in all likelihood and probability, we could say that this thing came out of the Wuhan lab. Vectors don't lie, Porky, right? And we go from Moscow, and what makes this thing so statistically significant is Ma Air. Ma Air is spreading the virus. And we got them going, because then with the analysis, how we do it, we get the data from the open source, and then we go to the military reconnaissance-like analysis, the geopolitical analysis. We get the map out, and we look at the ground. And they did it for us, Pompeo, right? Wuhan to Iran, Iran to Wuhan. They could take a train, but it's a lot more efficient with Ma Air. And that's how you get one IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, because it's owned by the Khomeini. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps owns Ma Air. And from China, they flew all over, at least 5 countries. They spread that thing, according to the BBC. From Tehran, they went into Moscow, and that's. Then from Moscow, One Air flew into Caracas, Venezuela, the next Syria, and that's how this thing moves. Through Hezbollah, Hamas, the Islamists move this. They could fly from Caracas into Canada and try to go into America to bring the virus in through the northern border. Or they can go in through Bogota, Colombia, through the Panama Canal, like we talked, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, Guadalajara, Monterrey, and then they're in. Thank you, Betty. Thank you for the retweets. Then they're in San Diego. There was a San Diego terror cell in 9/11. 9/11 hijackers with Anwar al-Awlaki in his mosque with an FBI asset. Come on, man. You know, that's why we drill down on this stuff, right? Tucson, Arizona. Right from Tucson, you're in Mexico. Right from Phoenix, Arizona, you're in Mexico. New Mexico had, they moved oil, did Iran, to Caracas. Yeah. And Caracas is giving them gold. This is Syria. Venezuela is the next Syria, right? Just look at it. Who's in charge? Maduro. He's not even Venezuelan. Sound familiar? Bogota, Colombia. His mother's born from... I'm telling you, it's crazy. Look at America. Obama. Look at all the anti-American activities on the Obama-Clinton crime family. Where was Obama born? I don't even know. Who the hell is Obama? Valerie Jarrett was born in Iran. Monica Witt, Lisa Page. U.S. spies in Iran. I don't think he's Kenyan. I'm leaning toward Indonesia. This is crazy, bro. And, you know, Russo's a xenophobic. He's a racist because, you know, Strzok's, exactly. Well, Betty Strzok's father was stationed in Iran. Strzok lived in Iran. Lisa Page's mother is Iranian. Lisa Page's mother is Iranian. I almost fell off my chair. And with these corrupt agents, not all of them, but some of them, Betty. Something happened after the George Tenet with the CIA. Something happened. I mean, I like Petraeus. He was a great general. He became a CIA director. They set him up. But when Obama took over, it was no good. It was no good. You're right, Porky. That's what they say. It's crazy. But when you think about it, this is why we challenge mainstream media, mainstream intelligence. Nancy Pelosi sits there. And she goes like this. Tests. Trump's up to 15 million. 15 million tests. Nancy Pelosi goes, tests. 15 million. Trump. 15 million tests. And you don't want to test the whole population. You just want to strategically test. Because a lot of these, I mean, come on, man. A lot of the people are asymptomatic, right? And the way these tests are going, it's going to show that the mortality rate is probably going to be lower than influenza. That's why I say, if you take the nursing home deaths, which could have been definitely reduced if the Democratic governors would have handled it differently, that means there would have been less horrific death. Less horrific death. She owns the lab, right, Porky? Well, she said that they got the goods on Trump, right? That he was in Wuhan lab. They got him. They might as well say that, right? It's crazy. This is why we got beef with them. Lies. Fake news. And you know what it is? The same players. You know what it's like? And we talked about it, right? We talked about the Holy Land Foundation trial, right? The Holy Land Foundation trial. Think about this. We got 58 Muslim leaders going to Mueller and Brennan, asking them to scrub FBI documents, FBI presentations. And we know at least four groups were Muslim Brotherhood operatives of the Holy Land Foundation trial. So, CAIR, the Council of American Islamic Relations, the Muslim American Society, the North American Islamic Association, and the Islamic Circle of North America, right, were Muslim Brotherhood front organizations deemed by the Holy Land Foundation trial. So that means they're unindicted co-conspirators in the biggest money laundering scheme for terror in this nation's history. So we had unindicted co-conspirators in the biggest money laundering scheme for well, one of them anyway, that or 650 Fifth Avenue, the Iranian scandal with Mohammed Javad Zarif. But so we got the Holy Land Foundation trial, which was dropped under the Obama-Clinton crime family, and that's when Louis Goldman went nuts on Eric Holder. So we got unindicted co-conspirators in the biggest money laundering scheme for terror in this nation's history, the Holy Land Foundation trial, sitting down with the FBI director and the CIA director, John, or he was at the time I think he was, well, one time he was the CIA director. I'm telling you, Porky, sitting down with them and issuing execution orders to Bob Mueller. And he's, after he testified in the Senate oversight that Muslim Brotherhood were an FTO, a foreign terrorist organization. He's scrubbing FBI documents and FBI presentations. Brennan's scrubbing the DHS server. Because at one time he was the undersecretary, the deputy secretary of the DHS before he became CIA director. It's crazy. What we had in the White House before Trump. And we want to bring this back? We want Biden back with Hillary Rodham Clinton and all of these nefarious actors, anti-American actors against this country after all the work that Trump put into putting out the fires that he inherited, basically. Trump inherited disasters everywhere. Unbelievable. Beyond belief. When you think about it, it's off the hook. Who was in the White House for 8 years? I have no idea. Trump's to blame for the 100,000. Tyrone's here. Oh, Tyrone's changing his tune. Wow. You served, Greenwood? You served? You served, Greenwood? Wow. God bless you. Thank you for your service. I think Tyrone's a white boy. Wow, you were in combat in Iraq? Wow. Where in Kirkuk? Baghdad? Were you in Mosul? Is that true? Were you there when I was reading that Hezbollah, because I couldn't understand. Wow, you were everywhere, right? It's crazy how they put the men and women of the United States Armed Forces in so much harm's way because you don't even know who the enemy is. Hezbollah is dressed as Iraqi soldiers, according to the open source. Is that true? Hezbollah was dressed as Iraqi soldiers because it was like Shiite militia when the news hit, right? It was like Shiite militia. It was like, so they were reporting that Hezbollah and Iraqi special forces and the United States with the Shiite militias inside of Iraq, materially supported by Iran, were fighting ISIS. I just I didn't believe, I'm sorry, I had a hard time understanding that. And then in the open source, they were claiming that we were sharing intelligence with Hezbollah. I'm like, what's going on here? I believe that. A lot of money, a lot of cash, right? In those military strongholds that we had, I don't know if they're still there. I know we got bases out there, military, right? I know we got bases out there in Iraq. Like we got the biggest military base outside the United States is in Qatar. We got bases in Ethiopia, Djibouti. We got a base in Israel. We got bases in Baghdad, and we got bases in Syria above Raqqa. So those military strongholds, we're probably moving a lot of stuff, right? Because we're trying to weapon up. So they're moving cash for the weapons to keep the strongholds alive. I get that. Because that's what those vectors show, the pipelines. Black water. I heard of black water. I don't know much about it. I heard of it. That's an operation, right? I think so. I don't know much about it. I heard about it. I briefly glossed over it. If I'm not mistaken, black water is an operation. I may be wrong. I don't know. But the vectors show these pipelines. That's why they did, right? That's why. Oh, I think I know what black water is. Right. That's copper black, right? I think that's what that is. Yeah. Yeah. I know what that is. He was a great intelligence officer, copper black. He's from the 9/11 days. He's from the George Tenet days. Those guys were top notch. The copper blacks, the George Tenets, unbelievable intelligence officers. They were the best. Wow. Wow. It's crazy. So it's, it's a crazy world, right? Only God knows what goes on in the military operations. I don't know nobody. I don't want to know nobody. I don't want to know classified information. I don't want to know. I know the only way I know is through reading, and I watch documentaries. That's how I learn, And I read. I could be reading more, but I'm studying science, so my stuff is all over the place. Yeah, I got that. I got that, right? That's what I kind of figured. And a couple of the cats from the George Tenet's crew. There was some top. I think that guy was the top director of the CDC, the CTC. He was. So hey, these people sacrifice a lot. I have no, the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, they sacrifice a lot. And Obama didn't give them a chance. That's what bothered me too about the Obama administration, the way they treated the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. They didn't give them a chance. Yeah, under Obama, right? Big time under Obama. It was crazy what was going on. Is that true that some of the military were wearing the Muslim Brotherhood crescents? It's crazy stuff that was going on. I couldn't understand what was really going on in that big time, right? I thought so. Very bad. He very bad. That's why Trump is like the complete opposite. That's why that's true. There was somebody in my room said that anybody who doesn't vote for President Trump is anti-American. They're not an American. It's true. In America, you're entitled to, right? Morale, I agree, right? In America, you're entitled to vote for who you vote for. But the way things are so polarized, and knowing what we know what went down under the Obama Clinton crime family, if you don't vote for Trump, you're not an American. I don't think. Because it's clear the direction of the Democrats. The Democrats are anti-America. They're for the illegal aliens, and they create these problems. Absolutely, Monarch. No amount of gratitude. Absolutely, you're 100% right. I agree with you. Absolutely. It's terrible the way the vet and Trump's bringing it back. Trump's bringing back the vets. He's taking care of the health care. I mean, I had some of my absolutely Greenwood. Thank you. As Monarch reiterated, thank you for your service, my brother. Absolutely. I say that every time I get off the air. Because I know without the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, I can't do my freedom. They provide me with the freedom. True. And Trump created a tremendous deterrent. He beefed up the military. That's people don't understand what this guy did for almost 4 years until the virus came. He beefed up the military. I can only imagine. Because war is different today. It's not World War II. Different. War is practiced differently today. It's more special ops, less casualties. The risks, when you do the special ops, there is a risk, obviously, but the risk is not as great when you're looking at the World War II operations and how big they were, and the men that were fighting and the people that died in World War II, millions. The greatest generation, the World War II generation, and the revolutionary crew that got us our independence, the greatest generations in American history, I believe, was the Revolutionary War crew and World War II generation. The best. It's crazy, Greenwood. It's crazy. I can only imagine. I'm telling you, we got to get Trump. He's got to get reelected. We need coattails, man. This is going to be a severe blow to the Democrats. Severe. Trump wins. Severe. Severe blow. But we're going to look at a lot of civil unrest. It's already starting. Trump's winning. Trump is winning. You're right. You're right, Greenwood. Because they want to get back. They want to get back in. They want to get back in. You're right. You know, I'm telling you, Trump has. I'm not saying. I don't know to what extent, because we're looking at something. This United States government is huge, beyond belief. Just think about Amazon. Amazon is the Department of Defense. That's the size of Amazon. That's just one department in the United States government. The Department of Defense. It's crazy. We believe that so when you think about this, and now you got this Wuhan virus, which we believe was turned into a human bioweapon, and we're going to show. I mean, the vectors are pretty clear. There's much to say about this, and you know, but that's why we challenge the. Hey, listen, I'm on my couch in Brooklyn. I don't have Fox News behind me. That's a tremendous broadcasting network, right? But the truth be told, some of these broadcasters on cable TV are just not, especially on the Democratic side, is really bad, really bad. It's really bad. You don't know what to believe anymore, right? So when you see this guy with his knee to his neck, it's horrific, right? Let's say what's going on is real and this is bad. It looks very bad. The guy died, right? And when I found out that it was forgery, because I'm pro law enforcement, when I found out that it was forgery, that the crime that he committed, I said, "Are you kidding me?" Right? When you think about it, then because what happens is when you get the Jesse Smollets and others, hands up and it never happened. Those were frauds, and now it's something like this, which it looks like a clear case of abuse, right? It kills everything. It's like some of these. It's like some of these allegations, right? Some of these sexual allegations against some of these men, right? 40 years ago. I mean, it kills the women that actually do get harassed and go through rape and everything like that, because you don't know who to believe anymore. I'm just saying, I hate to be cynical, but you have to be today. I agree with you. Very bad. It don't look good, bro. It don't look good. Did you see? I was watching Tucker's show. Tucker had a good show tonight. Even though I wish he debated more. I think it would be more interesting. The MSNBC, the business side of this thing, that had that loon job. I don't know his name. The anchor was giving Ross Sorkin and Joe Kernan. Joe Kernan is more of the business side, the stock market guy. One of them. They got a few. And this guy, the CNBC segment explodes as Andrew Ross Sorkin accuses Joe Kernan of being in the tank for Trump during the crisis. He was screaming out 100,000 people dead. You believe this? Blaming Trump for the horrific death from this virus. CNBC. This is why we're upset with mainstream media. He's a smart guy, Greenwood. I agree. He's on point. Smart guy, too. Look at this. 100,000 people dead. This guy, Andrew Ross Sorkin, is accusing Joe Kernan from the he's one of the market guys. He talks stock market. I forgot the show he's with. It's crazy when you think about it. That's what I've lost. That's what drives people nuts. Let's see if they cover the segment.
Plus will call for help automatically if it senses a fall.
What will you tell us about what's happening
Still
right
looking
now?
at the coincident and lagging indicator. Let's see. For a while, it was how can stocks be where they are because of oil?
We're doing great. We're doing great. Lost. How you doing?
How can it be based
This
on
is Joe Kernan.
where interest rates are right now? Then it could be how can stocks be,
Right.
and then it was every single discussion you have over the weekend is about how can stock prices be here when the economy is here.
Right.
Now it's going to be your earnings, but can
Right.
you see how that probably isn't the coincidence? The stuff right in your face. We're going to have David Lebovitz on. He's going to say every client he talks to is asking him, how can the stock market be here when everything else is...
And that's the question. And there are a lot of smart people who have that view. You may not have that view.
Why is that the smart people? They've been wrong for 35%. Why are they smart? Just because they can see what's right in front of their nose? That doesn't make them smart. It makes them
Joe, you missed it on the way down too.
Makes them not savvy about the
Joe,
market.
you missed it. You missed Joe.
There you go. We're talking vectors. You better believe it.
on the way down, and you missed 100,000 deaths. So we can have this debate back and forth.
100,000 deaths blaming Trump.
To question the questions I'm asking, but there are smart people, including your friend Stan Druckenmiller, who's argued that the market has been. Hold on.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
gonna do this with you, Joe. Every morning you try to question the questions.
There you go,
I'm
Lost.
asking. These are questions that investors are asking every single morning. I am just trying to get through some of this clutter.
There you go, Greenwood.
I may be wrong. Investors may be right. They may be wrong. That's what makes a market. But it doesn't make people a good person or a bad person. It doesn't make it right to act the way you are. I'm sorry.
Okay. You yelled
I'm
at
not
the
gonna
poor
do it
guy
at this hour.
about the
I'm
guy
not.
yesterday with masks is like, why are you yelling at
I'm
me
not,
now?
Joe.
You just yelled again. I don't
I'm
know.
not.
I'm just trying to.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. No, you're not, Joe. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead with the news.
You panicked about the market. Panicked about.
Woo!
Panicked
I like
about
this guy.
ventilators,
He ain't giving in.
About the PPE. Panicked about.
Tell him, Joe.
Going out again. Panicked.
And
that
you
we
didn't,
ever get
Joseph.
back to normal.
Joseph, you didn't
What
panic about
good is
anything.
that? What good is it? Why
Joseph,
not help
100,000
people
people died.
keep their head? I understand that.
100,000 people died, Joe, and all you did was try to help
Right, Greenwood?
the president.
Help the president. There it is. Andrew Ross Sorkin. Blaming Trump for the 100,000 deaths. Not talking about Cuomo, New Jersey, Michigan, and Pennsylvania putting the COVID patients into nursing homes. In some states, half of the deaths are from the nursing home deaths. Half of the deaths are from nursing homes. Andrew Ross Sorkin, the CNBC anchor, blaming Trump for the 100,000 horrific deaths from the virus. Fake news. Fake news. Fake. Oh, God. So fake. Beyond belief. So I'm going to get... So it's getting kind of late tonight. There you go, Lost, right? Crazy. So we're talking about... Tonight we talked about the Sorkin, right? We just talked about him. I saw him on the Tucker show. I thought that was interesting. Blaming the 100,000 because we were talking about Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi today talked about 100,000 deaths. She basically was implying that it was Trump's fault. Absolutely lost. Right, that's the whole point. If we take out the nursing homes out of the death equation, the horrific death equation, why are we on lockdown? And a lot of those deaths that were in the nursing home could have been prevented if we didn't send the COVID patients in there. Maybe. But we don't know. Because Cuomo, Whitmore, Wolf, Murphy, right, sent them in. And others. So the deaths are a lot higher in the nursing homes than what's being reported. And if that's the case, if you take the nursing home deaths out of the equation, why are we on lockdown? And then with all the tests, the mortality rate's going to be lower. The way it's trending, it's going to be lower than the influenza. Then, if you go by the 1 in 7, which is Dr. Barex's number, that gets infected, that's 14% chance of getting infected. That's an 86% chance of not getting infected. You win. Those are good numbers. Now, I'm not saying that this is, this is probably a SARS, like a SARS hybrid. I don't know. I'm not an infectious disease doctor. But this is beyond belief. Beyond belief. That's the whole point. Florida is the model. They targeted and they protected the most vulnerable, the nursing homes. Did Governor Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis. Fabulous. Did a fabulous job. Fabulous job. Fabulous job. So we talked about the Pelosi. We talked about NASA under the Obama administration. I mean, we talked about a lot tonight. We hit it hard. And basically why we believe there's too much fake news and what's fake news. I mean, the fake news is when you have these fake news makers. We just talked about we talked about, unfortunately, what happened. They canceled it, but hopefully Saturday at 3:22 p.m. it'll be launched. Hopefully. So we talked about the unlaunched, hopefully on Saturday, the NASA SpaceX will be launched. Me too. I was very excited to watch it. And then we talked about what NASA was under Obama. And then we talked about instances of what we believe is fake news and why we believe fake news is so prominent in mainstream news cycles. And we compared it, for example, the Holy Land Foundation trial. To give you an example, the Holy Land Foundation trial was dropped by the Obama administration. The FBI did an amazing job on this case. Unindicted, so there was 246 unindicted co-conspirators in the biggest money laundering scheme for terror in this nation's history. The Holy Land Foundation trial. The CAIR, the Council of American Islamic Relations, was trying to get off the unindicted co-conspirator list, but the judge says there's too much evidence against you. That ain't happening. Judge Salas from Texas said that ain't happening. And then we talked about under the Obama administration, not only did Obama drop the charges, he had CAIR, Muslim American Society, the Islamic Society of North America, and the Islamic Circle of North America, Muslim Brotherhood front organizations, going before John Brennan, at the time the deputy of the DHS, and Bob Mueller, the head of the FBI, asking Mueller to purge, issuing execution orders to purge FBI documents, FBI presentations. And he did. A lot he purged. And Brennan scrubbed the DHS server of all Muslims with ties to designated foreign terrorist organizations. So we have people that were already unindicted co-conspirators in the biggest money laundering scheme for terror in this nation's history, the Holy Land Foundation trial, sitting still within. So we have this recycling of individuals, nefarious individuals that have not been very good within our country, within our jurisdiction, still allowed to stay here. So it's like, and it's the same thing with the fake news makers, like Adana Brazil, like Juan Williams, like Shepard Smith, like Marie Hoff, like that chick Jessica Taloff, whatever her name is, so last name, spewing DNC talking points involved. Like, how do you sit there coming from the most corrupt administration in the nation's history, the Obama-Clinton crime family? How do you come from that administration and sit there and talk about, in a negative way, President Trump's hit on General Soleimani, when you know all that went down with the Obama-Clinton crime family and the gun-running operations, the 20,000 Soviet manpads, and the 400 FIM-92s given to Al-Qaeda 10 years removed from the horrific hit Al-Qaeda's hit on the World Trade Center? Fake news! Fake news! Fake news. Especially when the broadcaster doesn't push back. That's what really makes it fake. And just lets them get away with it. So they talk their DNC talking points and attack Trump, and he doesn't push back and say, "But wait, you were part of you were either part of the Obama administration or part of so you knew about all of the activities Obama had. What happened in Libya, right? That's so at least, right? But we've seen segments where like one Trump guy and three against Trump. So and the three against Trump are just fake news. They're just doing DNC talking points, telling everybody, right, that there's 100,000 deaths. Meanwhile, the Democratic governors are not reporting or underreporting the deaths in the nursing homes. And if you take the deaths in the nursing homes out, because by and large, if they were protected, there will be a lot less death, horrific death, right? And why would we be on lockdown? Then the question would be, why are we on lockdown? Fake news. Because either we're gonna wear our mask, practice social distance, and let's open up, or we're gonna be in a Great Depression. We're gonna have what we got today, civil unrest all throughout the country. Pick your poison. Pick your poison. What do you want? Stay on lockdown in your house, or get out and try to make something happen? It's beyond belief. It really is. It's beyond belief. So that's pretty much, we talked about different things, but that was pretty much what we were just discussing, because we got into this thing with the Transportation Security Administration under Obama. The guy ended up getting fired. He had 73, because we talked about NASA, and Obama tried to make NASA into a Muslim outreach organization. And that was confirmed by Robert Gibbs, because he totally refuted what Charles Bolden said. So that was definitely said. And that was reported by Fox News. Terrible, Lost. Terrible. Terrible. So we had a good night. Tomorrow, we'll be on here tomorrow. It's about 11:45. There you go, Lost. It's crazy, right? It's about 11:45. I'll see you all tomorrow. We will, I don't know if I'm going to have the vectors on Margarita Island tomorrow, but probably either tomorrow. I'll see how I feel. Either tomorrow or definitely Sunday night. All right? But we'll see what's going on tomorrow, and then we'll take it from there. All right? So God bless you all in the room. Thank you for your visit. Thank you. It was cool. Lost. Thank you for the visit. Who else did we have in here? We have a few other cats. Bensonhurst, God bless you. Thank you all for your visit. God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. Thank you for your service. Thank you for providing me with the freedom that I love, and that's broadcast. Thank you so much. And please, join my app. It's free. Absolutely, Lost. You too. God bless you. Please, my app is free. I got to get more subscribers. I'm going to work on that. I got a few things in the hopper. So God bless the greatest country on the planet, America. God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. Thank you for your service. Thank you for providing me with the freedom that I love. And that's broadcast. Thank you. The greatest country on the planet, America. I love my country. God bless America. And God bless our great President Donald John Trump. This is Frankie Russo. Absolutely, Lost. Coming at you straight out of Brooklyn. I'll see you tomorrow night. I'll try to get on. I got on a little, like 9:30-ish. I just had to put the broadcast together. 9:30-ish Eastern Standard Time. This is Frankie Russo coming at you straight out of Brooklyn. You better believe it. It's Frankie Russo. This is Frankie Russo, and I'll see you in